Now, it is the second classes of the chapter Taxonomy and Systematics. Previous classes, I discussed about the features of and the component of taxonomy and the relation in between taxonomy and systematics. Now, I can discuss here the separate component, that is classification, that is the important component of taxonomy. What is classification? Classification is the main component of taxonomy, where the whole organisms in the world can be classified in the separate groups, and various classes can be drawn by the scientists. That is, three types of main classifications represents the important scientists. Those are artificial classification, natural classification, and phylogenetic classification. Artificial classification, natural classification, and phylogenetic classification. Artificial classification first coined by the scientist Linnaeus, Theophrastus, etc. Those scientists classify the whole organisms at the point of artificial values. That is, the habitat of the organisms. Those organisms live in water, is called aquatic. Those organisms live on the land, that is terrestrial. And the classification of artificial also depend on the shape and size of the organisms. That is, the small, so small is microscopic, and large is called macroscopic. So this classification depend on the shape and size and habitat of the organisms, coined by the Linnaeus, Theophrastus, etc. Second, the natural classifications coined by the scientist J.D. Hooker, J. Bentham, etc. Those classifications depend on the basic constant of the organisms. Here we present that the main constant, if the main constant is the vertebral column. So there are two types of animals present here, vertebrate or invertebrate. Here we represent, if the main constant is flower. So it is two types of plant bodies present here, that is cryptogams, flowerless, and phanerogram, flower with flower. Next, phylogenetic. Phylogenetic classification coined by the scientists, that is Engler, Hutchinson, Tipo. It is the modern classification which is dependent on the heredity and evolution of the whole organisms. So all the classifications are the consist by four components, that is primary knowledge, identification, next nomenclature, and correlation. First, we can hold the primary knowledge about the organisms. Then we can identify these organisms, and then we give their name, the scientific name of these organisms, and after the nomenclature, these organisms can be correlated in between other organisms, and then already it is classified the different group of organisms. So nomenclature is the main important things here. After the classification, the last important part or component of the taxonomy is systematics. Systematics is the branch of taxonomy where the shape and sizes and habitat of the organisms can be discussed in the taxonomy. Now I can discuss the nomenclature. Thus, scientific name is given by the point of classification is called the nomenclature. Nomenclatures are three types, that is binomial nomenclature, trinomial nomenclature. The binomial nomenclature is coined by the famous scientist Carolus Linnaeus, C. Linnaeus. What is binomial nomenclature? We know this type of nomenclature for the studying of the Linnaeus history. Scientist Linnaeus is a famous scientist. He adopted his famous book, that is Species Plantarum, and Systema Naturae. Species Plantarum published in the 1753 AD and Systema Naturae published in the 1758 AD. What is species plantarum? All the plant bodies can be nomenclatured by the book of Linnaeus is the Species Plantarum. These two books of Linnaeus adopted for the following of two international great association of scientists, that is ICBN and ICZN. ICBN and ICZN. What is ICBN? ICBN means International Code of Botanical Nomenclature, and ICZN means International Code of Zoological Nomenclature. After this alliance, association represent the total organisms classifications. Then the Linnaeus wrote these two books, two separate era, that is 1753 and 1758. After this association and published of these books, Linnaeus published the famous hierarchy, that is called taxonomic hierarchy of Linnaeus or Linnaean hierarchy, that is present here. Kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, and species. Total 7 steps of this hierarchy, that is Linnaean hierarchy. large step is kingdom and the least step is species. We can say already what is kingdom? Kingdom is the total bunch of phylums. What is phylum? Phylum is the total representation of classes. What is class? Class is the total representation of the order. But what is species? Species defined as the same and similar group of organisms, those only reproduct their own same and similar group of organisms. So we can elaborate that species is the group of organisms by which the reproduction occur by the same group of organisms is called species. It is the exception case in the species, that is the mule. Two separate species can be reproduced their daughter, that is sterile, as an exception as plus horses, that is mule, and another exception tiger plus lioness, that is tigon. Both are steriles at the nature. So after the definition of the species, we can finally say that species is the a lower division of the linear hierarchy and the small division of the hierarchy. The separate all the division of the hierarchy is called taxon, or the plural name is taxa, and whole taxa are called the category. Next, genus and species commonly produced the binomial nomenclature of linear nomenclature, that is the international rules for binomial nomenclatures are represented here. I say that is one scientific name, that is commonly produced two items, that is mango, Mangifera indica. What is these two items? One is genus, another is species. So the international rules for binomial nomenclatures are elaborate here, that the first point in these rules, all the organisms can be nomenclatured by the two items, that is genus and species. Genus is adjectives and their species is nouns. So species can be renamed as the specific epithet. Mangifera indica is the scientific name of mango tree, and Panthera leoline is the scientific name of lion, that is coined by Lin. Here we explain that the rules of binomial nomenclature. First rules, all the nomenclatures can be defined as the language of Latin, or either Latin or converted Latin. So here we explain that name is English languages. So English is the converted language of Latin languages. Then number 1, number 2, nomenclature is elaborated by the two items. One is genus and another is species. 3, the type always covered with the italic types, not state, that is italic types, and all the items can be underlined. After the giving of scientific names, the scientist's name already put into this name, that is Linnaeus. 3, 4, the first letter of the genus always capital letters and another letters are small letters. Also the first letter of species small letter. 5, when some of the scientists discovered the one single organisms and name them. So, which is the scientific name of those scientists' name? The first scientist who first delivered the name of these organisms in journal, and it is the rules of laws of priority. Next, all the plant organisms on the plant bodies, scientific name also covered after the published of Linnaeus plant books, that is Species Plantarum, or after the 1753 AD, not before. Similarly, all the animals can be nomenclatured by the scientists are the given only the after the published of the Linnaean books, that is Systema Naturae, published in 1758. So here we explain that some of the questions in these rules, that is synonym, homonym, protonym and toponym. What is synonym? One organism get the huge more than one scientific name, then these names are named as synonym. When the various types of organisms can coin by the single scientific name, that is homonyms. What is tautonym? When the genus and species are same names, that is the tautonym. That is katla katla. And what is toponym? Toponym means the topographical name applied into the scientific name, that is India. India is the topographical name applied into mango tree, that is Mangifera indica. And after the nomenclature, it is also says that there are two separate divisions, that is Klein and Demi. What is Klein? Klein is a group of organisms which are interbreeding in the same ecological habitat, and Demi is the interbreeding population in the same ecological division. Then this type of classification also covered by the process, and species can be evoluted, and these species are evoluted the form of their evolution, then it is called the speciation. When we can study the topic speciation, then already those terms are seen here, that is sibling species, sympatric, species, allopatric, parapatric, etc. Sibling species, the same shape and size of the organisms whose are reproductively separated for their habitat. It's called sibling species. Sympatric, the different group of organisms are divided into their reproduction processes in a same ecological habitat. Allopatric, different ecological habitat can be divided into the same group of organisms for their reproduction. And parapatric, the follow of allopatric species is called parapatric species. Next, the classification is successfully routed by this type of procedure, that is given as key. Key means the opening of the mystery. Here two type of key is present, that is bracketed and intended. Bracketed means calyx, 5 any flowers, the added sepals. Intended, calyx 5, that is open sepals. So we can leave these classes here. Bye.